So in this video, we're going to work on the ITB swap on my DC2, so come along. Yeah, so it was a year, maybe two, I don't remember exactly how long ago I started doing this. Got sidetracked with other projects. This car doesn't really see that much road time, as you can tell by the dust. But part of that's also my fault, because once I went to the ITBs, I needed to upgrade the ECU. So it's getting a haltech now for TPS-based fueling. I could have upgraded the kpro, but if I had to spend the money on doing that, I was just figured I might as well just convert it to a haltech right away. But I'm gonna get the hood open, see where we left off, see if we can get maybe the ITBs on the car permanently, maybe work on some of the little odds and ends, because I'd like to drive this car soon. But let's see what we got going on. All right, looks like I just set everything in there, so I'm gonna take the ITBs off. I'm gonna put the injectors in, put the throttle position sensor on, maybe get the coolant hoses bypassed and everything. If I can get the actual ITBs bolted on today, I'd feel pretty good about that, because the rest of it's just little tedious stuff that really shouldn't take that long. Fingers crossed, obviously. But yeah, let's see if we can get that kind of stuff taken care of real quick. So here's the first problem I ran into. For some reason the injectors don't really seem like they want to fit. So I'm going to try taking these out and see if I can slide it down. Just use one of these bolts. These are RDX injectors. They worked in my old rail just fine. Well, we'll see. If not, worst case, I'm pretty sure these are Bosch style injectors, so I'll just have to get a top hat for it. But again, I'm going to see if I can just drop it down. Well, that kind of worked. If you look, there's a little bit of a gap because this corner is kind of digging in right here. So I might just lop that off, but for now, I think it'll work. None of the injectors have enough room to pop out like they did on my Ford, so that's a good sign. So yeah, I'm gonna tighten those down. I'm gonna pull this out and see if I can get like an actual cap for this. And then, I mean, in all reality, I just gotta hook up the one fuel line. So on this car, I run a returnless system, or sometimes called deadhead. It's not the greatest setup for like turbo cars and everything like that, but works fine on NA cars. So that's actually what I'm gonna run this as. But hopefully we can get like the fuel system all hooked up today. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be pretty happy with that. But first thing we're gonna do, new TPS. I got a Hall effect sensor for it. They read better than the OEM resistor types. But I'm gonna throw this on, and then we could probably bolt it up. Okay, so after some messing around and looking, this K-Series throttle position sensor will not work on this K-Series ITB setup. From what I just did a little bit of Googling, I was able to figure out there's a haltech sensor that works, so I'm gonna have to order that. If anybody needs a K-Series Hall effect TPS sensor, let me know, because it's useless to me now, but I can get this in the car either way. That's not too hard to do. So let's at least see if we can get it in and maybe get the throttle cable and stuff hooked up. Yeah, well, I've got all this room right here right now. I'm gonna fix the coolant hoses, route them around, and get it all ready before I actually put the ITBs in here, because I got a lot of room right now. So we might as well, right? Well, it's kind of on here. I've got the throttle cable kind of hooked up. I'm gonna set the camera right up here and see how much slack there is, because I've got it like as far like tight this way as I can get it, and there's still a little bit of slack. But so far everything on this kit has fought me, so I'm not really thrilled about that. But I did buy an OBX, I know what I bought, so I'm not terribly surprised by that, to say the least. But, all right, yeah, let's set the camera up and see if we can see how much slack's in the line there. Right there where I think it's... Yeah, well, as you guys just saw, I did a couple wide open throttle hits too, and the butterflies aren't opening all the way either. The more and more I work on this, the more and more I just want to go back to the old intake. We'll see. I'm gonna ponder on this a little bit, but not terribly thrilled. Again, I know what I bought. I know it's a cheaper model. Just not thrilled, I guess. Yeah, all right. I'll see you guys whenever I work on this again. So I forgot who said it, but someone in the comments said that K-Tune makes a center feed throttle cable. So we're gonna try this out today. I'm a little worried it's gonna be too short for the right-hand drive configuration, but I mean, we gotta try it either way. That way we know. So let's put this on and see if we're in the ballpark, because if this doesn't work, I'm probably gonna scrap the ITBs and go back to a regular intake. All right, let's see if wide open throttle works. Yeah, so they're still not opening all the way. I'm gonna pull it off and see if there's maybe adjustments on the ITBs, but don't buy cheap, I guess. You know, that's the moral of the story here. But let's pull this off and see what we can figure out. All right, so I think if I move this pivot out here, that might change the throw. I'm gonna try it before I commit to scrapping this project. I mean, I'm right here, right? So let's get that flip-flopped over and see what we can figure out. Yeah, so with the wide open throttle right now, this is the only difference. That's not that much. That actually might be our solution there. Let's see if I can do some more tinkering. Yeah, so I got the correct TPS sensor here. Gonna try throwing that on, and we got some actual intake manifold studs. So we're gonna put these on. It'd be pretty cool if I can get it all at least mounted here. Still have to figure out the fuel. Well, have to block off the fuel line, have to make the brake booster line, have to run a line for the map sensor, but that stuff's all pretty easy. This is gonna be the most difficult part of this. So I'm gonna pull the intake manifold off and probably get the TPS sensor put on and make sure it's rotating the right way and everything. But yeah, let's do that. Man, I swear if it's not one thing, it's another. The hardware they supply for the other side of the throttle shaft to block it off so that doesn't have a vacuum leak there. Bolts are too long. This bolt's too small for the throttle position sensor. These ones are too small as well, so I gotta go get some hardware there. But not the end of the world. I should be able to get that out at the hardware store. Studs turned out awesome. So tomorrow I'm gonna go get some hardware and hopefully we can have this thing bolted on then. Again, this has been, I won't want to say a nightmare, but it's been frustrating to say the least. So, all right, we'll catch back up with you guys tomorrow. All right, so I went and picked up some hardware. Hopefully it all fits. I'd like to get the TPS put on, the bracket put on for this, and have it at least put on the car. I'm not gonna 100% bolt it down because I'm sure I'm gonna have to pull it off, but put it on there and just make sure everything's all good. And then once we actually have like the fuel stuff figured out, then I'll probably bolt it down permanently. But let's get this stuff put on and put it on the car. so I got it all bolted up. Still got to put like the throttle cable on. Still got to wire the TPS and everything. Figure out which one of those is the map sensor too. And the idle air controller. This should be the intake air temp. Get that all squared away, but overall, it's looking pretty good. We gotta put a fitting on here for vacuum line for the brakes. Maybe have this thing running next weekend. That'd be pretty cool. I don't see why not, really. I think this is all I'm gonna do tonight though, just it's a Sunday and I'm pretty exhausted. But it's pretty close, so I'm gonna probably catch back up with you guys here in a little bit. All right, yeah, so I got the brake booster line shortened and tightened. I got the fuel line shortened and tightened. I actually have the ITBs bolted on. Rewired the TPS. I'm gonna try and get it so that way there's not a lot of tension on the wires right here. Maybe just try putting like a little eyelet or something right there. All the injectors are plugged in, so it's pretty much a map sensor. Got to figure out that and do that ground. After that, it's time to start it up. Yeah, but that's all I'm gonna do right now, I guess. Come back. I gotta figure, like I said, I gotta figure out the map sensor issue. Well, not issue, but which one I'm gonna use. And once that's done, yeah. Anyway, we're getting close. I'm getting more and more excited. So maybe drive it by the end of the month. That'd be cool. But yeah, anyway, see you when I get some parts or whatever. Yeah, so I had an extra titanium stud. Put the map sensor in right there and ran it up here. All that's really left is to wire it. I don't have my crims here, but we can do that when we actually install the haltech. But for all intents and purposes, it's ready to go. So when we do the haltech stuff, we'll go through how we're going to do the fueling and all that kind of stuff a little bit better. Obviously, we're going to have to check for leaks, probably do an oil change, some stuff like that. But, I mean, they're on there. Can't really think of anything else that needs to be done. So that's probably where I'm going to leave this episode. So if you guys are looking forward to seeing the haltech stuff, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time.